And welcome everyone today to the Down for Maintenance podcast, episode 8 on this wonderful day, Saturday, January 26th at 5:27, although you wouldn't know that because you're listening on a podcast. But I am one of your hosts, Codeman. Of course, I am here today with John from John Vincible and John Vincible Gaming.
Hello.
And unfortunately and sadly, I'm crying in my sleep right now. We do not have Hayden with us today because he had some stuff he had to take care of. But it will be me and
Or
John.
Nix.
Do what?
Or Nix. Nix is not
Nix
here
isn't
either.
here either. You know, I feel like they've abandoned us already. We're on episode 8 and they've already abandoned us. But
Well, this is going to be a very intimate episode.
no, I feel like we should be like, not. I was gonna say in bed together, but that would be weird.
Yes, it would.
But we could, pillow talk. It'll be a pillow talk episode. A little bit of pillow talk. It's very
Okay.
Are you saying K? Because cut it off. Cut it out. Cut it out, Cody.
Did you just do Uncle Joey?
I
Cut
did.
It out?
I did the.
Oh my god. Only we would get that reference. Our two other hosts would not get it.
No,
but...
they weren't. They wouldn't at all because they're a little young. But yeah, I do actually want to kind of address the elephant in the room at the beginning of the podcast. So the news over the last week, I believe it was actually it was probably several days ago. It was announced, and John, do you know if this is official? I'm not going to announce it yet if it's official, but
Yes.
it's confirmed.
Yes, it was confirmed sometime yesterday. The news came out on Thursday, and it was confirmed by Kathleen Kennedy and George Lucas yesterday.
Beautiful. Okay, so it has been confirmed that J.J. Abrams will be directing Episode 7 of the Star Wars. I was going to say trilogy, but I was like, that's 3 of the Star Wars Enterprise. Did you like what I did there?
Yes.
Did you like what I did? Star Trek and Star Wars?
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I don't really know what to think about this. I'm kind of indifferent about it. I love the movies that he's done. I actually enjoyed Super 8. A lot of people, I guess, I don't really think that a lot of people liked it, but I actually enjoyed it.
I loved it. I bought it on Blu-ray.
And then of course Inception. I think everybody enjoyed that after the thrice times that they saw it because they didn't understand it the first time.
Yes, Inception wasn't Abrams though.
Oh, was it not?
That was Christopher Nolan.
Oh,
You were incepted.
Strike one for me.
No, Abrams has a very short filmography. Mission Impossible 3, Star Trek, Super 8, and now Star Trek Into Darkness, which comes out in like May or something like that.
Can you tell me why I thought Abrams did Inception? That's weird.
I don't know. It was good. I can see that as a common denominator.
Maybe it's just.
I also own that on Blu-ray.
Maybe it's just because I don't know. I don't have the facts straight, John. I don't have the facts straight. But yes. Anyway, I did. I love Super 8, and also Star Trek. Star Trek was amazing. It was an amazing reboot to the wonderful just Star Trek, just amazing shows, movies. I mean, there was all kinds of different stuff. But anyway, I'm a little indifferent about it because I don't know how it would turn out. I'm kind of just, following all the funny memes that have showed up on the wonderful interwebs of the pictures of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker crossing sabers, but you can't see them because there's so many lens flares everywhere. I don't know. I feel like he could do a good job with it, but I don't know. At the same time, I guess it's just we have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's the best approach because, I mean, I too have liked all the movies that he's done, the 3 that I've seen. Mission Impossible 3 being his feature-length film directorial debut. And there's a famous quote by Steven Spielberg because I don't know if you know this, but J.J. Abrams is kind of Spielberg's protege now. They're good friends.
Oh.
And, mentor apprentice sort of relationship. I mean, they're friends, but Spielberg is in a mentor capacity. And one of Spielberg's people gave him a copy of Mission Impossible 3 and said, "This is J.J. Abrams' first feature-length movie." And Spielberg watched it, and when he was done, there's like a famous quote by him, and it's along the lines of, "How was that anyone's first movie?" Like, because he was so impressed with how good it was. Did you see Mission Impossible 3?
I did not. That's why I was about to say that I have not seen Mission Impossible 3.
Well, I have now hyped it up impossibly for you with
Obviously, no,
Spielberg's
I have to
opinion.
see it. I have to see it.
Did
I
you see
love
4?
the Mission Impossible movies, and I'm not a huge fan of oh god, and I can't even think of his name now. Um,
Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I do like some of the movies that he's in, and I did like the Mission Impossible series. But no, I have not seen Mission Impossible 3, although it is on my list of watchings. So I will probably watch it here pretty soon.
So you didn't see 4 either?
Mm-mm. Nope.
4 was also super duper strong. Might even be better than 3. 3 and 4, I think the best ones in the series.
Nope. I've seen 1 and 2 because they were on Netflix for a short amount of time. They weren't. They were pulled not. Oh, they were pulled quite a long time ago. But it was probably when I first, not when I first got Netflix, but a little bit after that. And of course, Netflix, they run with licenses, so if they can't get the licenses in the next year, they can't hold those movies on.
Yeah, it's all contract to contract and
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm a huge Star Wars buff. I love everything that George Lucas did with the Star Wars series, and well, except Jar Jar Binks. But I
Wait. Sorry, I was reading something at the time, but
no one likes Jar Jar Binks.
Can you requote what you just said there?
Oh, I just said I love everything that George Lucas has done with the Star Wars series, but I don't like Jar Jar Binks.
See, I think we could talk about that for a little bit because I got the Star Wars 6-movie saga on Blu-ray as a Christmas present, and I watched all 6 of them about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I watched 1 through 4 in one day, so it was like a whole day of Star Wars. And then the following day, I watched 5 and 6. So I've never watched all 6 in order that close together before. And my opinion on the prequels completely changed than when they came out in theaters when I first saw them. And I will agree with you. I really like what George Lucas did there. And I think a lot of Star Wars fans and movie buffs are like groaning right now. But I really, really liked the prequels, watching them again with more of an open mind.
See, I will agree with you because I haven't watched all of them. Um, in my I guess older age. I think the last time I saw, a full set of Star Wars movies, it was when I was maybe 18, 19. I've watched some, I've peppered some, Star Wars movies here and there, throughout, my life up until now. But I feel like if I watched all of them in order, I would get a different view on them. But I don't know. My problem with Jar Jar Binks is that he was annoying to me. He was very in your face, and plus, I mean, I don't want to say he was the first CGI they kind of conquered, but it was I don't know. I just didn't. It wasn't believable to me. And it might have just been because of the sign of the times. It was the Star Wars series that I remember. It was all puppets and cheesy effects and stuff like that. Whereas nowadays when you buy the Star Wars series, they've actually revamped it. In HD, they've added parts in that were puppetry, and then they've replaced that with CGI. I believe that didn't they replace Yoda in some
Episode 1, he's no longer the stoned looking little puppet
yeah,
that
he's like a CGI model.
Yeah, he matches 2 and 3 now. He looks a lot better.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that's why. Because I'm kind of an old timer when it comes to stuff like that, and I love, I'm only 27 years old, but I loved those movies the way they were, and I kind of always been like that. I see movies, and obviously Star Wars can hold up, and I think Star Wars will always hold up just the way that Star Trek will. But I don't know. I just I actually just watched, and this is totally off topic from the Star Wars and everything like that. I watched Serenity the other day, and I'm a huge Firefly fan. I really wish they would bring the series back, but Nathan Fillion I don't think will actually do it again. And I also think that uh, I cannot remember names tonight.
Joss Whedon?
Yes, Joss Whedon. I don't really think he wants to do it again. But Serenity, actually, for it being a Firefly movie, it actually holds up. I watched it 2 days ago and I loved it. And I don't know if it was because they didn't really use a whole lot of CGI in that movie. And I think that most of the CGI was like maybe the ship
Yeah, the
and
space stuff.
yeah, the space stuff. I mean, but they didn't use a whole lot of. I don't know. I love computer graphics, but I don't like them peppered in. You know what I'm saying? Like with an older movie that's brought back to life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. So, but I'm very very curious and happy to see what Abrams does with it. I mean, it could be amazing, or it could just piss off the whole world of Star Wars. But we'll see when it arrives.
See, I have this feeling because I mean, did you like the Star Wars prequels even when they came out?
Yes.
See, I didn't. I thought they were okay at best. I thought the third one was probably the best one when I saw it at the time, because it was super high on action and it set up number 4 more than all the other ones. Obviously, it literally is like a little connecting puzzle piece, right?
Yeah.
The last like 20 or so minutes of that movie, they're just like, oh, and Leia's gonna go to what is it, Senator Organa, and plays like little Leia theme, and then Luke's gonna go to Uncle Owen, and so it literally is like a little puzzle piece, and I liked that as an original trilogy diehard. I liked that about Episode 3 when I saw it in theaters, but getting to watch them all now with like more of an open mind and seeing how they all fit together as 1 through 6 as a saga,
Yeah.
I started to realize, and I'm gonna like call back to Indiana Jones 4. I really didn't like that when I saw it in theaters. And then I saw it again later with more of an open mind, and I liked it for what it was. There was a lot more CG than the previous ones, because obviously they were filmed in the 80s.
Yeah.
And you kind of just have to accept that like this is how like a film in your favorite franchise is made in 2000 and whatever 4 or whenever they made those prequels. I think it was early 2000s, right?
I believe so. Is the Indiana Jones that you're referring to, is that the Crystal Skull?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I saw that, and I saw it in the theaters as well, and I hated it. And then when I actually saw it in my house, I watched it again, and I for some reason liked it. It was weird. I don't know why.
Well, I have an opinion on this. This is the point that I'm getting to is I think well, and a lot of people didn't like Prometheus. A lot of people they'll nitpick every flaw in Prometheus, which was of course a prequel to. I did too. And but Prometheus, of course, is a prequel to Alien, beloved, science fiction horror film.
Yeah.
And I think as fans, especially these films we grew up with, we have these literally impossible expectations for a new film in the franchise.
Yeah.
And I mean, 1 through 3 aren't the greatest movies ever made, but as Star Wars movies, I think they're very good. And I think you kind of just have to lower your wall, and like you're associating a film with childhood memories. And it's just really tricky, you know what I mean? Like you have to really see it for what it actually is and see it as a whole. I think that's a big part of it, because there's all these videos on YouTube like what's wrong with the Star Wars prequels, and they nitpick every little thing. What's wrong with Indy 4? What's wrong with Prometheus? And they nitpick every little tiny detail. But it's like you could do that to the classic Indiana Jones, the classic Star Wars, even the first Alien. You could nitpick all these little details all you want and ruin the film experience for yourself. You need to appreciate it as a whole. And I think, as super duper fans, it's hard to do that sometimes, but I think it's important to, if you're ever going to like the film, some people are just predetermined to dislike, any new entry into a classic film franchise, but I like to approach it with a little bit more of an open mind.
No, I agree. I sometimes I feel like I can't do that, and it just pisses me off that I can't. And but I'm pumped. I'm pumped about it. And when they released, that he was going to direct it, I mean, I have my doubts, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? This is a new age. This is a new movie. It's like, I'd like to compare it to, because this was a big deal with the Devil May Cry series, the video game. I'd like to compare it to that because, it's not obviously it's not that big of a franchise, but when Ninja Theory came out with this new concept of Dante, and they were like, hey, this is the new concept. It's a reboot. It's a Western reboot. So it's going to be totally new. We're going to try to keep to the story, but it's going to be a prequel to the first Devil May Cry. And so a lot of people got up in arms and they were like, you know what, this is not what Dante looks like. I can't play this game, blah blah blah. And they were so dead set on Dante looking a certain way because that's what the series gave them from Capcom. That's what the series, said, this is what Dante looks like. This is what Dante will always look like, because they did 4 games with Dante looking the exact same way that he always has. But then when this other company comes out and says, hey, we're going to change the way Dante looks because it's a prequel to the first one, everybody's like, oh, God, no, you can't do that. Why are you doing that? God, we hate you. And I'd like to compare it to that because, it's like, okay, so we have all these Star Wars movies, all of these movies that have been out for a long time. They've been, remastered, remixed and all this stuff into HD. And now we have somebody that wants to completely do not a completely different Star Wars movie, but probably with, because every director directs differently, in a different way. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's what a lot of people get when they hear this. They're like, oh crap, it's a director. We really haven't seen a whole lot from him. Why does he get to direct the next Star Wars? And I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it that way, and I'm going to take it with a grain of salt and wait till it comes out, and I will see it in the theaters because I just love Star Wars that much, and I will see it. I will probably love it, and so, but at the same time, there's probably going to be some parts of the movie that I'm not going to like. Some choices that he makes that I'm probably not going to like. But it's not about, and I'm trying to get to this level with the way that I look at movies. I'm trying to get to the level of, I need to, like you said, I need to bring down the wall and just go in with an open mind and watch it, analyze it, and say, you know what, I didn't really like what he did here, but I really, really liked what he did here and here, and just really break it down and just appreciate it for what he did for the series and not so much what he did wrong for the series. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm excited to see it. So,
yeah, one thing Abrams is really, really good at is having like an emotional core to his movies, like Super 8. Kind of a little bit of spoilers if you guys haven't seen it, but there's a scene between we'll just call it the monster and the main character, the young kid. Mm-hmm. Towards the end, it's those two interact, and it's a really great moment. It's probably one of my favorite moments in that whole movie. And yeah, and that's one thing, if we are going to nitpick, and again, I don't want to be overly critical because I really do like how the prequels fit into the Star Wars saga now that I can see it as a whole. But the emotional resonance wasn't as strong as the classic trilogy. I think the height of the classic trilogy, to me, there's when Vader chooses to throw the Emperor down the endless chasm that is in his throne room for some reason. Seeing Vader turn, and then Luke's helping him and stuff, and then he takes his helmet, like that very emotional scene in the entire saga. My favorite scene in the entire saga, and I think the emotional height of the saga, is the end of Empire when Han's getting frozen in carbonite.
Yes.
Like those kind of peaks, emotionally weren't as strong in the prequels. There's nothing, at least that I can remember, that quite matches that. There is the whole Obi-Wan Anakin thing in Episode 3, but even that doesn't quite match like Han getting frozen in carbonite, because you've come to love like Luke, Han, and Leia so much you don't want anything bad to happen to them. And so the emotional stuff wasn't as good in the prequels, and I'm really hoping JJ can bring that to Episode 7, and I'm pretty confident that he will. Especially with, do you know the screenwriter Michael Arndt?
No.
They announced him like a month or two ago that he was going to be doing the screenplay for it, and he wrote the screenplay for Toy Story 3, which is, have you seen Toy Story 3?
Yes.
The last 10, 15 minutes of that movie, like, if you're not crying like a little baby,
I will tell you when I saw Toy Story 3, I was like, what the shit? Like what are you doing right now? Like, this is not Toy Story. You're about to kill these toys that we like love so much, and
Well,
you're throwing
there's
them
that
into a
part.
freaking melting
Yeah.
pot. What is that?
See, so there I felt dread. Like, yeah, I don't feel dread very often in a film, right? Normally it's like, even if characters die, it's whatever. But putting them in that situation was so different than anything they'd been in the previous movies. Like you look at Toy Story 2 and they're about to go, who is it? I think Jessie's gonna get shipped off to Japan or whatever to be in a museum, and she's gonna be separated forever from Woody,
Yeah.
uh, and the rest of everybody. But even that doesn't really compare to like they're about to be melted, into goop. Like they're gonna be incinerated. So there's dread, followed by the whole scene with Andy giving, passing his toys on to Bonnie is like such an emotional scene for some reason. And you're like, they're toys. Like, why is it a big deal? But, the toys that we grew up with don't talk and have adventures. So at least outside of our heads, right?
Well,
So though, like, I guess it's like the last 20 minutes from the incinerator scene all the way to the very end of Toy Story 3 is super duper emotional. So that writing combined with what JJ can do visually, I think is going to be, I don't know. I just thought about it right now. I think I'm probably going to be crying in Star Wars Episode 7.
you might be.
I would be surprised. Yeah. Though I'll tell you right now, I get very uncomfortable when I'm in a situation where I want to cry in the theater, or even watching with like friends and family. I only really cry in movies when I'm by myself, because then you're not embarrassed, no one's watching you, and that's kind of an old-fashioned way to think about it, like old-fashioned like tough man can't cry. But I don't know. When I'm by myself, I cry like a little girl, and I toughen up when I watch movies with other people.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what J.J. Abrams brings. But you know what? We're gonna move on to, of course, the part of the show where I tell you, send us your mails. You can send us anything, your thoughts, your queries. If you have relationship problems, we'll help you out. John's real good with that. He'll be your psychiatrist on that. But you can send us emails to our Gmail account, which is the DFM podcast at gmail.com. And we love to hear from everybody. I don't know how many listeners we have. Hopefully we have, one or two. But otherwise we're doing this for nothing, right, John? No.
Anything you send us, we'll read it on the show.
Yeah, we'll read it on the
We'd
show.
be happy
and
to.
It'll be fun. But yeah, send us that. And then also you can follow us on Twitters. You can send us some tweets. You can tweet us at the DFM podcast, which is fun because, hey, we'll respond to those as well, because, hey, we like responding to people all the time.
Well, we really want to embrace the social media aspect of, when podcasting first started, there was no Twitter, there was no YouTube wasn't even really around back then. So
Yeah.
let's,
and then
let's really embrace that.
Yeah, and then also we have a YouTube, of course, which is youtube.com/the DFM podcast. So you can find us on there too, and we release our podcasts on YouTube as well, even if they're not a Google Hangout. We do Google Hangouts every once in a while, so that's pretty fun. But it's kind of I'm kind of liking this dynamic, John. Me and you. Although I do miss Hayden and Nix. I mean, we're not a team, I guess, when we don't have them here. But yeah, everybody's got lives. Okay, I have one, but apparently I'm not tending to it right now. So that's. But yeah, no, yeah, just follow us on Twitter, send us mails, DFM podcast at gmail.com, and then also send us or comment on our YouTube channel if you would like to, I guess. But I would actually like to take this time also to maybe throw in a couple news stories, John. How would you like that?
That sounds great. We opened with a huge one, but I'm sure
that was a pretty good. I don't really know.
All of nerddom, is talking about it. So
well, yeah, I mean, of course.
We would be negligent not to at least mention it. So.
Well, of course. I mean, it's. I mean, let's be honest. It's Star Wars. I mean, I don't want to get on this again, but I mean, I do, but that would be the whole podcast, and I don't know if somebody wants to listen to us talk about Star Wars for the whole podcast.
Well, it's all speculation at this point. I think once we see a trailer, like in a year, then we'll have a little bit more to go on.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, I'm looking over some pretty cool news stories here, but I want to talk about something that a lot of people love in gaming, and that's special editions, collector's editions, limited editions. Now that they call them limited editions, every single retailer has their own little, pre-order bonus and like all that stuff. But I'm talking about
that annoys me. By the
oh,
way,
I hate it. I hate it.
because what is it? Assassin's Creed 3? You have Assassin's Creed 3, right?
Yes.
Like your wardrobe downstairs, there's like 10 slots, but unless you buy like 4 copies of the game, you can't fill every slot because some of them are they're retailer exclusive costumes, so they'll just be empty forever.
But John, wouldn't you want to fill every slot?
But you literally can't, right? Unless you buy the game like 4 times.
Did you get? I was the joke. You want the slots? Don't fill the slots.
Oh yeah, I see.
Work with me here. But I wanted to mention a game that's about to come out here pretty soon, and that is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Obviously, as a lot of people have seen, the limited edition comes with a whole lot of really good swag. And one of the pieces that it comes with is a plasma lamp. Now, if you don't know what a plasma lamp is, channel your childhood going to the science museums and putting your hands on a big ball with electricity coming out from a middle tiny ball. So it's like a glass ball. I'm trying to visualize this and explain it to you. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a big glass ball with purple and pink like electricity coming out. And when you touch it, that electricity goes to your fingers. Well, this is basically what this is, and it's called a plasma lamp, and it's kind of a little keepsake, I guess you would say. I'm not quite sure how big it is because it doesn't really say how big it is, but it features Raiden's sword. Kind of looks like it's kind of half of the sword. It looks like it's stuck into the ground, and the plasma energy, I guess the electricity that's going to connect to your fingers or whatever from the glass casing is coming off of his sword. And I thought that was kind of a cool concept because in the I actually played the demo, and it's pretty interesting. The demo. I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, and I don't really know if I'll pick up this game because I'm not really into that kind of a Metal Gear Solid kind of deal. But I don't know. It's a cool concept. And then also with the this is not part of the special edition. This is a pre-order bonus with games. Well, I like to call the Evil G because I hate GameStop, but. With GameStop, you actually get the original Cyborg Ninja outfit. I call that outfit. That kind of sounded weird. You get the Cyborg Ninja skin, which is obviously the Gray Fox from Metal Gear. God, it's so old. Oh gosh, I'm trying to. I believe it's from Metal Gear 2, but it might be from 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, and that will be my second strike, because my first strike was the J.J. Abrams directing Inception.
I'm sure a lot of people mix those two up.
And then you also get a sword. You get I believe it's a sword skin. I don't really think it's a better sword, but I think it's sword skin. It just kind of looks like the sword that the Gray Fox has. In the crap! Don't play me some stupid advertisement. God, I hate YouTube sometimes. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. A lot of these special editions are getting pretty crazy. I know that my Gears of War 3 special edition that I bought, which was really expensive. I won't tell you how much money I dropped on that thing, but I got a full size 1-to-1 model of the Retro Lancer, which was just ridiculous. But some of these special editions, these limited editions, are just getting outrageous. I mean, and this special edition, John, for the Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance is going to cost you 149 bones.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. If you want to spend that much on a freaking special edition, and then one more special edition I want to to you guys about is the Splinter Cell Blacklist. Now, I haven't really heard a whole lot about this game, and I haven't really been following it, but I played a little bit of Splinter Cell games, and I want to say this freaking special edition is ridiculous. It kind of models the care package special edition for Black Ops 2. It comes equipped with a model of an airplane that is a remote control airplane.
Wow.
And it is a Paladin RC aircraft. I'm not quite sure what a Paladin is. I mean, I know what a Paladin is, but I don't know what the Paladin aircraft is. But yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, that's just crazy. That will run you $169.99 bones. So yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty crazy. I mean, come on. You're I mean, that's crazy for a video game. That's crazy. And the box is huge, obviously. I mean, the care package was gigantic in Black Ops 2. So, but yeah, those are the news stories that I have. John, if you have any,
Well, I want to chime in on just a special edition
Yeah, go ahead.
topic in general. So I think all that stuff is cool, but I have a very different view on like collector's items like that giant retro lancer you showed me before. So you're married with a child and you live in a house, I assume?
Yes.
So you kind of have roots a little bit, right? Like you're kind of planted, so you have stuff like places you can put your stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have my garage is my man cave, so that's where all of my memorabilia, everything is. So
See, I've moved, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the past like 6 years, 6 or 7 years, and nothing makes you realize how much crap you've accumulated than having to put it all in boxes and load up a truck and move it. Like I hate moving. I absolutely hate moving. Though I will help any friend move that asks because I know how terrible it is and I know how reluctant people are to help. So I'm always there to help. And but when it's your own stuff, it's just so stressful. Like packing all your crap up and like you always have way more stuff than you realize, and there's always something you haven't packed yet, and it's like, oh my god, I need another box to pack all this stuff. So in the past year or two, I've become very aware of this, and I purposely don't accumulate large things or lots of things anymore. So that's applied to special editions of movies. Movies don't really usually come with like giant crap like video games. Collector's editions do, but I've just become so conscious of that as cool as it is, as much as I'd love to have it, I just think about like where am I going to put that the next time I have to move.
well, I will honestly tell you that to this day, and I graduated college 3 or 4 years ago. I can't even remember. But I still I still to this day have things in boxes up in the attic. Just things that like I had in college, but I don't use anymore, or I just don't need out, and so I still have them up in the attic. But that's the thing is, and I totally understand, is that it's hard, especially with how big freaking collector's editions are getting. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, I thought for a while they were just going to move to like, you know, digital content, and you just get codes and stuff for like special weapons and things of that nature. But I feel like now they're going for that. They're going more for this whole like season pass thing. So then they can say, oh well, now we can like release all this cool shit with our video game, and you know, make it to where people want to buy it more. But at the same time, I don't want to pay $170 for a video game.
Well, that plus the season pass, now you're talking like 220, $230 on one game. That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, and I don't know. I feel like that's just that's crazy, and it's not logical for some people to spend this much money on special editions, and then also have all this just toys. I mean, they're toys. I mean,
Yeah.
to bring it down to, I mean, they are toys. They're basically selling you toys with the video game, and I don't know. It's kind of strange to me, but I don't know. It's something I guess a lot of people enjoy, and I can understand if you're a younger person and you like these games and you like collecting all this stuff. But remember, as Papa John told you, Papa John. Oh man, now I'm hungry. Um, but no, as he told you, if you move, you're gonna have to take all that shit with you. So be cautious of how many things you buy.
Yeah, well, unless your parents are cool enough to let you keep like tons of crap in their garage or attic or something, but you know.
My dad just cleaned out his attic. He called me the other day and he was like, Cody, you need to come get all your shit. And I was like, okay. I was like, how much is it? Oh, you're just going to have to come over and see. So I get over there and I'm like, oh, Dad, I can't take all this in my little car. This is not even going to fit. He's like, sorry, you got to get it out of here. And I was just like, Dad, can you just keep it here? No, I'm not going to keep it here anymore. I kept your Power Ranger toys and everything for this long. So, needless to say, my daughter now has new toys.
New toys.
They're new to her. Yeah, they're new to her. I will only give her the yellow Power Ranger and the pink Power Ranger though, because those were girls.
Which Power Ranger toys are they?
Oh, dude, the first Power Rangers. I had.
Do you have the Megazord? Is that what it's called?
I have the Megazord, and then I have like all the Power Rangers, like the full were they 12 inches? I think they were. No, they were a little smaller than that. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe 9-inch figures. And then I had a couple morphers, and then I had the original morpher. Still to this day, I have it. Well, I think it's up in my attic right now. But I have all that stuff. And then I found an original Ghostbusters house. The fire.
We had that.
Yeah, the firehouse. I found that. Then I found the Ecto 1.
Oh wow.
And all this stuff is original. I mean, I would hope it's. I mean, this stuff is from when I was a kid. So, I mean, you're thinking. I mean, probably the 90s, early 90s, maybe. So yeah, I found all that stuff. Did not find all of my Morpher coins, which kind of pissed me off. But I did find the Morpher, and that's all that really made me happy. I looked it up on eBay, and it's worth like I think $100.
Wow.
There's people out there that want it. So
did you guys have the gloves, the Power Rangers gloves
that made noises?
Yeah, you have to press a little button in the palm and it'll go like. Whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah, I did. I had the I was a big fan of the Blue Ranger, so I had everything Blue Ranger. I actually went Halloween twice as a kid as the Blue Ranger, and it's actually I've looked it up on YouTube. It's actually an underground cosplay thing for some people. I mean, there are some hardcore Power Ranger, like original Power Ranger fans out there.
Wow.
And they order these costumes from like Japan or China. And they're like legit costume. Like these things are like screen made. Like these are hardcore like costumes. But yeah, apparently it's this like underground society that is just crazy. So I don't know. But I was a huge fan of Power Rangers. I love it.
When we bought our Power Rangers action gloves or whatever they were called, every male blue, black, and red, I guess. Every male Ranger's gloves was sold out. So we bought a pair of pink and a pair of yellow. So we had the girl Power Ranger gloves because that's all they had at the store. All the little boy ones were already taken.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't matter. It's okay. It's okay, John, to fight with the pink. Okay?
Well, come on. You're like 7, 8 years old. You don't care.
But you're still a badass. You still think you're a badass because you're a Power Ranger. It doesn't matter.
Hell yeah.
Although the pink Power Ranger did wear a skirt. I think the yellow one did too. So.
Did she?
Yeah, I think they had skirts. Anyway, we'll get off on that topic. But we at this part of the show we were actually we were supposed to do it at the first of the show, but I totally that Star Wars rant kind of got with us there. But we did not talk about what we've been playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So John, what have you been playing? Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
A little bit, a little bit. Like I said last week, I think just coming off Assassin's Creed 2 and putting like 40, 50 hours into that. By the time I got to Brotherhood, I was a little burnt out. So I'm not playing it as hardcore as I played AC2, like a couple weeks ago. But I did buy a Google Nexus 10 tablet. I told you that last week. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show.
Yeah.
So I've been playing like tablet games, and Cody can attest to this. We've gotten into The Sims free play
Oh,
because it's
God.
free to play.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's barely even a game, right? It's more of like a social, like plant your things, come back 7 hours later kind of game. But it's fun, and when you start getting a little bit of money, you can buy cool things that your Sims play with. But it's hard for me to justify my Sims like doing anything else besides farming, because that's really the best way to get money, I think, in the
Would you like
game.
to put those bitches to work?
Yeah. No, it's like, all right, you can go to the bathroom because your bathroom thing's in the red, but then you go right back and you plant me some carrots, damn it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you, John. I have lesbians.
oh, you made a lesbian partnership?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna marry them too because it's illegal in most states.
Oh yeah, it's legal in The Sims though. They're very open-minded.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Right on. Besides that, I think I showed, again, I think this was off the podcast, but it was a game called Zen Pinball HD, and it's free, and it looks gorgeous because a lot of the Android tablet games, well, they're not even tablet games, they're the cell phone versions, and they look like crap on an Android tablet because it just stretches out the cell phone version of the game, and most of the time that's terrible. When it's a 3D game, it actually doesn't make a big difference because it renders it in whatever the resolution of your tablet is. So in the case of my Nexus 10, it's got a really high resolution, just like the newer iPads, and the 3D games look fantastic. So this pinball game's in 3D, and it looks really good. And we were talking about pinball again. I don't remember if that was on the show last week or the pre-show thing. I could play pinball forever. Pinball is
I talked about some pinball machines.
that was like a couple weeks ago then, I
Yeah.
think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I maybe that like subconsciously made me want to play this game on Android, but I just friggin' love pinball, man. Like maybe it's just our generation because I don't think Nix and Hayden were as into that conversation. Though arcades were more our generation as well, and I don't think younger people their age are really going to the arcades anymore, if they even have any near them to go to. We talked about that with Rob, I think.
Yeah.
So, we just grew up on that stuff, so I kind of have a soft spot for pinball. Though, I will tell you this about Zen Pinball HD, at least on the Android. I guess it's called Pinball FX2 on Xbox and maybe PlayStation as well. But a lot of the pinball tables are the same between the games. There's a huge like Marvel sponsorship or partnership, I guess, for Zen Pinball HD.
Mhm.
So I said it's free. It comes with one table for 99 cents each. You can buy more pinball tables, but there's only like 3 or 4 that are original ideas. Like one's like called Paranormal, and you're a paranormal investigator themed table, and one's like themed after Camelot. Like 7 or 8 of them are themed after Marvel properties, which wouldn't be so bad because I love Marvel. I actually have a news topic I want to talk about in a little bit. But sadly, the Marvel themed tables are kind of crappy on this app, and like they look great, the artwork's great, but maybe you can appreciate this, Cody. There's a lot of like very unrealistic elements in the Marvel tables where it's like a CG Captain America hops out onto the table with his shield and starts like hitting stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? That's not what pinball's about, man. Like the more classically themed tables, they have like maybe a CG element to it, but nothing so crazy. Like a lot of it, there's actual, I don't even know what they're called, like the little wire tube shoots that the pinball can go up and around and hit a goal or hit a target or something. Like a lot of actual realistic pinball gameplay mechanics, whereas all the Marvel ones are just like, why is crap flying all around the pinball table, man? That doesn't make any sense. But maybe that's for today's generation. They can relate more to that kind of stuff. It's more like a traditional video game than a mechanical pinball machine. I just hate it, and it ruins the table for me. I bought 2 of them. They're more expensive too. They're like $2 or $3 each, and I bought 2 of them, and I'm not going to buy any more because I don't like them. But I bought all the original ones that are only $1 because those ones are actually great.
Yeah, I think the place I played Zen Pinball was on the PlayStation.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it was probably, aside from it didn't have touch controls. I mean, it was
Well, it
was
doesn't
pinball.
even matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like-
it doesn't matter at all. I mean, I played a couple of pinball games on my iPhone, and they seem to work the same. I mean, it's not really, it's not a control, but like a controller intensive game, so it's not
Yeah.
really like, you have
Basically
to
two
have a.
buttons, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you pull the plunger back, and then that's about it. But um, yeah.
That's it for me.
Oh,
Just
that's
those
it.
two Android games. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I have been playing a little bit more of trying to get through DMC, Devil May Cry, and it's actually turning out to be just an amazing game for me. I really enjoy the mechanics, the game mechanics, and the storyline is amazing. It kind of tells without spoiling it because it just came out, but like it kind of gives a background on Dante because a lot of beginning with 1 through 4 of the original Devil May Cry series, you don't really know where Dante came from. I mean, you know that his dad was Sparta and his mom was, well, they kind of change what his mom is in this game, but anyway, they kind of give a backstory on how he became who he is, and so I mean, I think that alone was game selling to me because I mean it kind of gave that I love storylines and I love stories in video games. I don't usually play a video game unless it has an amazing story, because I don't read a lot of books and I use my video games as books, and so I think that's why I enjoy so many RPGs and stuff like that because they have so much depth in their stories. So I've been playing a little bit more of that. Not quite through it yet. I believe there's 4 huge bosses. I just beat the second one, and I'm fighting the third one right now. So almost through it. Um, and then also, like I mentioned before, I played the demo for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and it's a hack and slash Metal Gear game. If you remember in Metal Gear 4. Sons of Liberty. I think I think it's Sons of. I can't remember. Anyway, Metal Gear 4. Raiden shows up as a cyborg ninja, and so they took that character model, kind of emoed him up a little bit with some long white hair and some badass cyborg armor, and you just go through and chop shit up. There's a lot of mechanics in the game that I find to be kind of strange, and really not needed. I think they kind of threw them in just because it was a Metal Gear Solid game. And the first one is the alert system. As everybody knows, in Metal Gear Solid, or in the Metal Gear Solid series, you have an alert system because it is primarily based around stealth. Um, and when you get by an enemy, the alert system goes off, and he gets a little exclamation point above his head. Well, in this game, you still have that alert system, and if you get close to an enemy, they still have that exclamation point come above their head. And I found it to be very, very just unneeded. It's not needed. Your character is so overpowered, and I don't know if this is just because it's a demo. I don't really know how they kind of planned out the upgrade system in the game. You could start out as like the weakest character in the world, but I feel like in demos they throw in the most powerful character. But yeah, the alert system to me is really unneeded. I mean, you run around and you with a couple of slashes with your sword, and then you've completely just ruined an enemy. I mean, you don't need that alert system and then that. But then another part of the game which I found to be kind of fun. They have a free sword mode, which is basically you push, well, on Xbox you push the left trigger in, and it takes you into this like bullet time scenario where you have your sword, so you use the right analog stick to kind of pinpoint where you want to slice something, and then you let go of it and it slices in the way that you point. So it's like a free mode to where you can slice however you want.
It's like
And
Fruit Ninja.
yeah, basically, yeah. And they've kind of gotten the accuracy down for this slice mode, that where you can basically, and they showed a a demo of this a long time ago. I don't know if it was at E3 or if it was at some other convention, but they took and they sliced a watermelon up in the with Raiden. They've sliced a watermelon up, and then they sliced it into smaller pieces, and then they sliced it into smaller pieces, and then smaller
Oh,
pieces,
wow.
and then smaller pieces. So they've gotten this slicing mechanic down, just ridiculous.
But you can do this to people.
Yeah, you do this to people. Basically, you get them to a point, and the people that you're fighting are also cyborgs. So you're not really cyborgs. I guess you would say cyborgs are human robots. So they still have blood, but it's not a horribly bloody game. But I mean, it's kind of weird because you can slice their legs off if you choose to slice their legs off.
I would love that, man.
Yeah. But then also, it's kind of got a Battlefield feel. You can slice into anything, John.
What is this game? I'm very intrigued now.
It's Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. John, think of this. You're going through a game. There's a guy up on a bridge that is shooting a rocket launcher at you. But wait, you can't get up there. Why can't you get up there? Oh, wait, but there's pillars that are holding up the bridge. Should I slice down these pillars to drop the bridge? Hell yes, I will. You could go and you slice down the pillars that are holding up a bridge to drop the enemy so you can fight him. They have made it,
Wow.
yeah, they have made it that just almost in a Battlefield feel to where you can destroy everything. You can slice into everything.
Now I'm looking at the cover here, and it's showing the dude slicing a dude like down the chest diagonally.
Yes.
Is this the main game mechanic? Is this sword?
Yes. You don't have anything else but a sword.
Oh
Now
wow. Okay.
you can pick up rocket launchers here and there, and you can pick up like grenades and stuff of that nature, but really nothing does anything better than your sword. Now, you would use a rocket launcher to distract or to do something of that nature, but you wouldn't use it to destroy anything because it's not going to. Basically this game is set up to where it is up close and personal, and you have to get up close and personal, use your different combos. I mean, it's kind of a combo system too, so you can kind of chain things together, kind of in a Devil May Cry feel. And yeah, but I don't know. I'm really on the fence about buying it because I don't know how long the story is, and
Mhm.
so I don't want to spend $60 on it, and then be like, oh, I don't really like this, and then I have to sell it. Although I do have a free game for my wife. My wife said I could buy a video game, so I gotta figure out which one it's gonna be first. And then other than that, I played the Dead Space 3 demo, and there's really not much to say about that. It's Dead Space. The mechanics really haven't changed a whole lot. Although you're in an icy tundra now, and
You're not in space?
you are in space. You're on a different planet. You're on an icy planet. So there's lots of blowing snow to diffuse
Oh.
to kind of take away your sight because you can't see. I mean, they want to make
Kind
it
of like
suspenseful.
Lost Planet.
Kind of, sorta. And I don't know if they added the mechanic of like you freezing to death, but they might have. I don't know. The demo didn't really go into that, but there's like a whole like weapon construction system now, to where you can like make weapons, which is kind of intriguing to me.
It's like crafting in a survival horror game.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, but I've played both. I played and beaten both of the other ones. They were good games. I will tell you that the first one scared the living shit out of me. The second
Yeah,
one, not so much.
I played the first one at my friend's house, and I had never played it before, and he was watching me because he said he was too scared to play. And this is really the only time I played it, like for a good amount of time, and I played for like 6 hours, and I got really far into it, and then I never went back. But I really liked it, and that one was like all on the ship. Is the whole game on the ship in the first one,
Yeah, the
or
Ishimura.
space station or whatever it is? Yeah.
It's a Ishimura. Yeah. It's well, the whole thing centers around Isaac Clarke. Although this third one has a new guy, which was from a DLC from the second one, and he's basically the co-op. So like he's the co-op character.
He's the
So
excuse for co-op.
yeah, basically, yeah. And so, but it's a drop in, drop out co-op. So,
Okay.
but I have heard that the main story changes if you play a complete storyline game with co-op. So I heard that the story at the end changes. So that should be interesting. But this is
Okay.
kind of a game that intrigues me to pick up. So I don't know. It's kind of between Metal Gear and Dead Space 3. But I don't know. I feel like I'm Dead Spaced out. Like I don't know. The first two ones were amazing. I bought the collector's edition of the second one. I got a little tiny plasma cutter, which was pretty cool. But I don't know. Other than that,
How tiny?
oh, it was tiny. It was like it was. It was so funny because everybody pre-ordered this and they thought it was going to be like a full-size one, and then they got it and they were like, "What the is this?"
I feel like that's the story of like a lot of collector's editions. Like you see the image, but there's no sense of scale. And then
Yeah.
you get it, or you see it in the story, like that's a dinky little thing. I thought it's more like a figurine than something big and tangible.
Although the collector's edition of Uncharted 3 was amazing, I bought that too, and I got his belt buckle, and then I got like a freaking. Oh, what else did I get? Oh, I got uh, like a statue of him.
Yeah, I think
And
my little cousins bought that. I saw the statue. I didn't see the belt buckle.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you get his ring that he wears. That's on a necklace as well. So I wore it for like literally a year. I don't have it on right now because the string finally broke. But and it doesn't fit my finger. Otherwise, I'd wear it as a thumb ring because I'm kind of trendy like that. Um, but yeah, other than that, I've been playing a little. I'm gonna say a little Sims, but that's not even the truth. My wife's been getting pissed off at me because she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm making lesbians. Shut up." But yeah, I have 6 Sims now in my Sim world on the Sims free play on the iPhone. I'm playing mine on the iPhone and the iPad. I kind of switch back and forth. It's a server based thing, so you can
Yeah,
kind of switch back and forth from.
I love that. They didn't have that when I first played it like a year ago. I played it for a little bit, but I think I installed a custom ROM on my phone or something and I lost it.
Yeah. It's I feel far away from the microphone because I'm letting the dogs out. Um. Okay, so but yeah, no, I've been playing that a little bit. I've been making those Sims work. Been farming like a son of a bee, and then also I've been trying to make some relationships. I have two women who love each other very much, and that's okay.
Are
And then
they named after TV show characters as well?
no, one of them is her name is Jamie Stryker. I named her that because my wife's name is Jamie, and Stryker was the default name. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna name that. Sounds amazing.
He was also a terrible character in Mortal Kombat, and I thought maybe he was like my favorite or something.
And then, of course, I have a Jack Bauer because I think every neighborhood needs a Jack Bauer from 24, because he's a badass. And then I have another one. It's funny because most of my Sims are women, and I didn't really do that on purpose. It was very subconscious the way I did it. I was just like, oh, here's a woman, and then oh, I'll throw another man in there. But yeah, I have two a man and a woman who are living together now, premarital living together. I'm sorry if you have a problem with that. I apologize. Um, but yeah, it's fun. I'm glad you introduced me to it because I've never been a real big fan of Sims. I played a Sims game a while back and just didn't really catch on. But this one seems to be pretty fun, and I don't know if it's because it's mobile, but I think that has a huge factor in the way that I play it, just because I can play it anywhere and I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about, oh, I got to get home and take care of my Sims. I can do it right on the spot. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Well, see, what I think I like about it is Nix and I mentioned I think last week that we played the crap out of Farmville, which is like it's not a great game. It's addictive. It has addictive qualities to it, but it's not like a great video game. There's barely any game there, right?
Wait.
But
You played Farmville?
yeah, to
Did
death.
you did you ever play Zombie Farm?
On mobile?
Yes.
Yes, I played for a little bit, but I don't think I got very far.
I it was actually I played that I played that for like 7 months.
um, well, I really wanted a Farmville for Android, and I don't think it ever existed for the first game. But what I like about it is it's not like you sit down and you play like a story-based game or a multiplayer game for hours and hours. You just play it for like 10 minutes at a time. And The Sims Free Play definitely fills that void that the first Farmville used to. Because yeah, you play it for 10 minutes at a time, then you go do something else and you wait like 4 or 5 hours. And that's something I don't think, at least to my knowledge, that the traditional Sims game has. That's more like a you play it for hours and hours kind of game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas this one is like, yeah, maybe, build some relationships a little bit and then make them farm your green beans and then come back a few hours later.
Yeah, throw some pumpkins in there. No one knows. I bet your
Yeah.
backyards are filled with like freaking gardening patches, aren't they?
Well, no, there's just one person that lives in that household, right? Because they get more experience if they do things in their own house.
Well, I didn't know what to do with the house when okay, so like when the man moved in with the woman because she had a better house, um,
That dictated what couples moved in with mine
yeah,
as well.
yeah. And so I moved him in, and then his house was just like vacant. So I was like, okay, well I can demolish it, but I don't know if you get money for that. So
You do, but I think it's a crappy return.
okay, so I just went through the whole house and just sold everything, the walls, everything that was in the house.
Oh, well, if you demolish, it'll sell it all. But there's diminishing returns, I believe. Like that, you don't sell it, you lose money if you do that. You can leave the house and then add a new sim to that house.
Yeah, but it cost like what? It was like 2,000 simoleons.
Yeah, and I think it goes up all the way to 5,000. I think it caps out.
Good God, I was just like,
But
wow.
I think you pay that regardless, though.
Well, I mean, I guess if you buy an unfurnished house and then add a sim to that, you have to buy all the stuff anyway. So like, uh,
Well,
I don't know.
what I think though, I'm not positive. I think you have to pay for the house, like if you're gonna buy a furnished one, even or an unfurnished one, and then you still have to pay to add a new sim. So you were probably better off just adding a sim.
Have you had a fire yet?
No, I don't bake goods that have the fire icon because I was
Oh
scared.
yeah, I had a.
Have you made or have you farmed plants that have the crazy plant?
No.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I don't want to spoil it for you. So.
Well, I actually I had a fire the other day because I was just interested to see what it would do. And
Mhm.
when I put the oven in my house, I also put in the fire extinguisher thing because
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah, because I knew that well, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna probably cook something that's gonna cause a fire. So so I run she starts cooking, and I'm like, oh yeah, get to cooking. Then whatever you're cooking, I don't even know. You cooked cookies earlier and you're stirring in a pot. I don't understand what that meant. But so then a fire ensues and I'm like, "Oh shit, what am I supposed to do?" And so the guy's outside freaking planting green beans and so I can't disturb him.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh crap. So I click on the fire extinguisher thing, and and it like gives me options, like like the minute options and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it gives me options. Do you need multiple options to put out a
Yeah.
fire?
What are the options? I haven't had a fire yet, so I don't know.
One's like it's like a minute or something, and you use when you buy the fire extinguisher thing or whatever. You have it's three different holders. You have I don't know what all of them are, but like I think some are for like grease fires, some of them are for like just firefires, and then some of them are or the other one's for like another fire. I don't know. They're for separate fires. And so you have to choose each like what kind of fire it is. And so like I just chose, it's a fire. And so it put it out. But I don't know. I felt like that should only be one option. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't need multiple options for putting Hershey chocolate woke up. I named one of my Sims Hershey chocolate.
I'm just I'm not gonna go there, but
No, I didn't even know. I was eating a chocolate bar at the time, so I named her Hershey chocolate.
okay.
I was eating a one of those Hershey's chocolate air. Have you ever had those?
No. That
Yeah, they're like
sounds like you're gonna eat some air.
no, they're really light, like really
Um,
light chocolate. I don't eat a lot of chocolate, but I like those.
are they lighter in calories as well?
Yeah, I think so. They have like little. You can tell like they have like little bubbles in them, and so they're like kind
It's
of.
literally you're literally eating chocolate air with air in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Is
that's
is
hilarious.
that wrong?
No, it's just funny that people would want to buy a product where they're buying air.
Oh, bitch, you about to go out and plant me some green beans? Okay, there we
By the
go.
way, I'm just gonna tell you when you do have your first baby and toddler, well, the baby can't do much in the game. It just like sits in the crib. But when it's a toddler, it can do some things that the adults can do. But for the most part, when I'm not having it had its have its needs taken care of, I sit it on the couch and have it watch a movie for 2 hours over and over and over again. Because he can't garden. I'd put the little kid to work if
Oh,
he
that's
could
so
produce
bad.
something.
What are you?
So he just watches movies all day.
Oh my god. Oh lord.
Which I'm no parent. Maybe you can. Well, your daughter is just a baby at this point still, but I imagine
Yeah.
a lot of parents just sit their kids down in front of the TV because there's nothing else to have the kid do.
Well, I will tell you, I have a 2-year-old niece, and she's pretty energetic, and at times, it gets to the point, I think sometimes where you kind of have to, hey, you need to sit down and relax and, watch, Dora the Explorer, or, watch a movie, or, she's really into Disney movies right now, which I'm so excited about, because I was hoping one of these girls in our family, we've literally had 4 girls in the past 2 years, um, which is crazy. I don't know where. Shut your mouth, dog.
These are
Uh,
all your nieces?
well, one's my daughter, and then I have a 2-year-old niece, and then I have a 1-year-old. She's my niece, but she's my cousin's daughter. I call her my niece. I don't like
Hmm.
to say the whole second cousin thing is weird. Um, but and then I have another niece, which is my best friend's daughter, but he's been with me since I was a kid, so I mean he's basically my brother, so I call her my niece. But yeah, we've had 4 girls in the last 2 years, which is absolutely ridiculous. We haven't had one boy. It's I you know, and my sister hasn't had a baby yet, so hopefully when she has a baby, and she's married and everything, they're just not ready for a child yet. But
This
yeah,
is younger sister, you said?
yeah, younger.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
middle, and then my brother's the older. There's 3
Oh, okay.
kids, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm kind of looking for. I want a little boy. Although my little daughter will probably enjoy video games. She'll see me playing a lot of it. Although I will be very.
Well, her whole generation, man, is just growing up with so much digital content. I think it's inevitable.
Oh, well, when she gets old enough, we'll have the holodeck. We don't need
Yeah.
we don't need
Do
to.
you really think? I don't know if that's coming that
Well,
soon.
they
Maybe their kids. Even
it's
then, I don't know.
it's an old staple. And and this is a good time to plug a wonderful podcast, Orange Lounge Radio. Obviously, we were supposed to have one of their hosts on tonight. Some stuff happened with me, and I thought we were going to have to record a little later. And I told her that, and I think she had plans later. So, but yeah, it's a staple on Orange Lounge Radio. They always say a little closer to the holodeck, because every single video game. I mean, if you think about the Kinect, and you think about this thing that Microsoft is working on right now, the Illuma Room. I mean, it's getting closer and closer and closer to this just environment of gaming that's going to just engulf your whole room. So I don't know. We're getting closer, John, to the holodeck, and I'm excited.
Actually, I kind of forgot all about the Illuma Room. That is a big step in that direction.
Yeah. I feel like we're jumping from topic to topic here, but I enjoy it because it's good to kind of have a little crazy. We were talking about Sims, and then could you imagine a Sims game in Illuma Room? Like, that would be weird.
I thought you were gonna say the holodeck.
Well, that would be weird too.
Because you're like walking around, you're like, go farm for me, make me some potatoes.
You don't even have to push buttons. You're just like, go farm. Maybe some green.
Well, yeah, at that point,
money.
shit, you'll probably just think it and they'll do it, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking, I don't know if you'd have to, wear something, but it's getting closer and closer, and I don't know. It's crazy to me to think of some of the stuff that these companies are coming out with, but I did want to touch a little bit on the news. I don't know when this was released, but I found it on the internet. The specs for the PlayStation 4.
Yes.
I kind of wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit. I don't know if anybody has really seen this. The source, I got this from Kotaku, although I'm trying not to, I don't know, really read their news a lot. I'm kind of in a weird thing with them. But yeah, they released a couple of specs for the basically these were the specs for developers to kind of go by to develop, some, I don't know. I don't know if they're like tech videos or stuff like that to show what the PS4 can do. But it has been announced that the PS4 will not be announced this year at E3, as a lot of people have probably already read. That's kind of old news, but
An announcement that there is no announcement.
yes, exactly.
That's the opposite of what I commented on a couple weeks ago about Rockstar announcing announcements.
Well, who's the guy of Sony? Iwata?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I believe it's I think his last name is Iwata. Anyway, that doesn't matter because that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the specs that were released for the developers, and what we have here is a system memory of 8 gigabytes, video memory of 2.2 gigabytes. CPU will be running a 4 times dual core AMD 64 Bulldozer. Now, if you remember, a while back, the Bulldozer was made up to be this just amazing CPU, which I think a lot of people just were so excited about, and it kind of turned out to be it kind of turned out to bomb a little bit. So I don't know how Sony's kind of dealing with that, but I don't know. This is what it says, and I'm just reading.
See, I know nothing about not ATI, AMD
yeah.
processors. I've always been an Intel guy my entire life.
Well,
so.
I mean, obviously, if you're thinking of it this way, it's a 4 times dual core, so that's 8 cores, which should be pretty good. But
that's 8 physical cores.
8 physical cores, yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, because my i7 is quad core, but then with some fancy thing, it's 4 virtual cores. So I have no idea how that really works with programs and stuff. But so this is 8 physical cores you're talking about, though.
Yep. That's why it's called the Bulldozer, John.
Okay.
I don't know why it's called the Bulldozer. It's a clever name. The GPU is an AMD R10 XX, which I don't know why. Anyway, I'm just reading it. So you can go to Kotaku.com, look it up. I'm sure you'll find it somewhere. The specs on the PS4, but it will have 4 USB ports, 3.0 ports, and then also two times Ethernet. I don't know or 2x Ethernet. I really don't know what that means, but I guess
I think it's literally
Ethernet.
Yeah,
2 physical Ethernet connections, which don't really know what you would need that for, but
I think that might be for System Link.
System Link on the PS3 or PS4, that would be interesting.
Oh, they've never supported that?
I don't know. I've never really dabbled in it, so I don't really know if they did or not.
Actually, with 2 Ethernet ports, you could also like pass through your modem, so you wouldn't even need a router.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to turn your PS4 into a router as well.
And this is the part of the specs that I am really, really unhappy with. The hard drive. 160 gigabytes. Now, let's be honest here. We have, and I have one sitting right here, right beside me. I have a tiny, tiny solid state external hard drive that is a terabyte. Why can't we have more than 160 gigabytes? Now, I understand that they might release higher gigabyte systems, but I mean, I don't know. This might just be like a dev system. So I mean, who knows? But that's interesting to me that they would release with 160 gigabytes. I mean, that's something already.
Well, they have to keep like individual system costs down too, right, to make it affordable.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah.
How much did that 1 terabyte solid state cost you?
That was I think it was 90.
Oh, that's not too bad. What brand is that?
It's that the WD. What's the WD?
Western Digital.
Yeah. I got it on sale too. I got it Black Friday sale, so it was.
Oh, okay, so it probably goes for like a couple $100 or something, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 150.
Okay.
And so I got it pretty. I got it on the cheap, because I like I said before, I'm balling on a budget, man. I gotta.
Yeah. Because I mean, 160 is a lot more than current systems, but at the same time, everything I'm hearing is that. Oops, bumped my mic. Everything I'm hearing is that you'll be able to download your games digitally as well as buy them in a retail store.
Well, yeah, and then they released this thing where they were like trying to patent the RFI chip that we're gonna lock games to your system, but that's a whole another story that we can attack later. But I wanted to finish off. Of course, the drive is a Blu-ray. Like everybody knows that Sony always has Blu-rays in their systems. Well, in their PlayStation 3, and they'll have it in the PlayStation 4, obviously. And then the audio outputs, of course, are HDMI, optical, 2.0, 5.1, and 7.1 Dolby Digital channels. So you'll have all those channels, which is pretty amazing. I believe that the PS3 only goes up to 5.1, but I could be wrong.
I think that's true.
But I do know that most of the headsets, I know the Triton headset I have only goes up to 5.1. So I know my Astros go up to 7.1. But I don't know if really any of the consoles really support 7.1, true 7.1, I guess you would say. But yeah, it says, obviously, I think Sony, this move I'm using their terms for their.
I got that.
This move for them not to release anything this year, I think they're trying to let Microsoft make the first move, and I think that's
I've
interesting.
read that, yeah.
I think that's interesting because obviously I think a lot of years have gone by, and I still don't think that this console generation is over. I feel like we can still do more with these consoles that we have, and I personally I'm not ready for another console, and I'm also not ready to chalk down the amounts of money to buy another console, and I really don't find anything interesting. Anything more interesting about these specs than I already have on my PlayStation 3. So I don't know. I'm really kind of disappointed with these specs. A little, but at the same time, I mean, obviously it's going to be faster. It's going to, pump out a whole lot more graphically, I think. But at the same time, what are these consoles going to do that are going to be like 100 times better than this generation's console? And you mentioned this, John, a little while ago when I was talking to you on Skype a couple of days ago, where I think the Microsoft Xbox, the thing it's got going for it is this Kinect 2 integration into it's going to be integrated into the console. Am I correct?
That's, well, the rumors.
Speculation.
Yeah, the rumors I've heard is that it's not literally a part of the Xbox, but it comes with the Xbox, so that everyone who buys an Xbox will have one.
Oh, okay.
So you'll just get a new Kinect V2 or whatever they're calling it, which I hope is true, because that would encourage a lot more developers to make games for it.
Well, apparently it's saying right here that the Kinect 2 will have an ability to map clothes and fingers, which is going to kind of blow my mind. I mean, basically they did I don't know where this was or where they did this, but they did a thing on a Twitter feed where a guy was typing a tweet with the Kinect 2, and so it was kind of neat.
Can I just go off on a small tangent related to that? So they're just saying basically it'll be even like way more detailed than what the current Kinect can capture or map, right?
Yes.
If they're saying clothes and fingers, that's obviously a much more micro level than the current version. My brother told me, and I don't know if this is true. I mean, I believe that he believes it was true. I don't think he was lying to me, obviously. I think that whoever told him it, I don't know if this is a true story, but I like to believe it is because it's hilarious. And that's that he bought a Kinect. And I don't know what game it is or why this is a feature, but it was like auto capturing gameplay screenshots and uploading them to Facebook or something.
Yeah, you can do that with Kinect Adventures, I believe.
But I mean, is it like the way the story goes, and I'll get to the funny part in a second, is that he didn't realize that the game was doing this. Is that a feature in any of the games that you know of?
You have to set it to that. I do know that is a feature in a couple of games, but you do have to go in and set it to.
Okay, well, maybe it's possible he was sharing
Facebook, yeah,
sharing the console or something. But the story is that he was playing like a dancing game or some sort of full body game, which I guess most of Kinect games are, right? And he was just completely nude. He was naked, dancing around. And the story is that nude pictures of him playing this game started popping up on like Facebook or something, and one of his friends had to tell him that it was happening, and he was super embarrassed. He deleted all the photos. I could be flubbing up the story, but basically naked pictures of him went up on the internet without his consent, or it went to his Xbox friends or something, and that was hilarious to me.
I
And huh?
Well, I was gonna say I do believe that in certain games the Kinect will actually automatically censor.
Interesting.
I
Um,
could be wrong at that, but I did watch a thing on I can't
well, this
remember
would
what
have
it
been
was,
first
but
gen. This was like a year or two ago when he
oh,
told me the
okay,
story.
okay.
So, but if the new Kinect can map fingers and clothes, I imagine it would be able to see your penis and say, "You're naked. Do you want me to send your pictures to Facebook?" Like a warning comes up, and then it goes, "Oh God, no! Don't send my pictures to Facebook."
No, don't.
Okay, sir. I imagine. What's the Iron Man AI name?
Oh, Jarvis.
Jarvis. I imagine Jarvis going, "Okay, sir. Should I also stop live streaming then as well?" Oh God, Jarvis. Yes. Stop live streaming my naked dancing.
No, I'm waiting for the Kinect to just fudge up and be like, "Oh, sir, it appears that you're naked. Would you like me to upload these to the Facebook?" No,
Yeah.
no, no, Jarvis. I don't want you to upload those. Uploading to Facebook.
Upload complete on fiber optic connection.
They will be there for you to check in the morning.
Yes. Facebook profile picture changed, sir.
To your
Oh God.
penis.
Yeah, to just your penis.
I mean, that does scare me though, because I won't lie to you. There was a time where there is a workout game on the Kinect that pretty much maps your whole entire body.
Mhm.
And I was wearing clothes at the time, but I was like, I was interested. I was like, you know what? What happens if I got some dangly dangs like going on? Like what happens if something's going on? You know, and I do a little experiment, and oh my god, it mapped everything, dude.
Wow.
Like I'm not even joking you, like everything. And I'm just like, wow, that's scary. Like, well, like if I had this automatically uploading shit to somewhere, like everybody would see my ding dong. And
Was your wife home when you were doing this?
oh yeah, she was sitting on the couch.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this is a while back. We didn't have a kid then.
uh
This is when we were crazy and crazy kids. I mean, we were doing all kinds.
no,
No.
in my head, because you already talked to me about like the confusion sometimes when you're explaining gameplay mechanics to your wife, like the whole Minecraft thing from a week or two ago.
Oh yeah.
She's like, why are you building a house or something? I can only imagine what she would think if she came home and you were dancing around naked.
Why are you dancing around naked in front of me?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what could you possibly be doing?
Honey, I'm doing the helicopter. Have you never seen the helicopter?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, we're going on a crazy tangent here.
Look,
But
I can make
anyway,
it
but no,
slap against my gooch.
I
Uh,
Sweetie, my balls are totally on the freaking TV. Check it out. I can zoom it in just using my hands.
yeah, it's a rhythm-based game.
It's a Oh, that would be horrible.
Oh, man.
Dance Central naked. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Dick Central.
Dick Central. Oh, we're
Uh,
just going on a whole like
yeah.
now we're just turning it into like a Connect porno. Uh, no, but there are actually, since we're on this topic, there are games out there with like I believe JTagged Xboxes, which I do not endorse because I don't like when people do that to Xboxes. It's kind of a thing to me. I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that I have friends and like they do that and just so they can like hack certain games. I believe, I don't know. I don't enjoy it, so I don't know. Plus, I just really don't know how to do it, so that's probably mostly why.
Is that how Loki does the Borderlands cheats that he was talking about? Is
I'm
that through
not
JTagging, or is that a different type?
I'm not quite sure. Loki's really smart with that kind of stuff, so I mean I don't know if that's what he uses, but he does it for he does it for like a different reason than most people do it. Like most people JTag Xboxes so they can play free games. Loki
Mm.
doesn't do it for that reason. He does it because he wants to see how far the game can go, like how far he
Yeah.
can take the game.
Mhm.
And but like there are like with Connects and stuff like that, there are erotic games that are being made.
Wait a minute.
Connect.
So you're like connect, like you're thrusting in this erotic game. Is that the point of the
No,
game?
no, no. You use your hands to touch. I guess you
Oh,
certain
okay.
parts of. Anyway, um, Well, in this article, they touch or they they spelled
I
they spelled surface with two R's. These retards.
I would just imagine in those erotic games though, the game has to be designed to be played one-handed, right? Wouldn't your other hand be occupied?
True. True.
I mean,
It
is
goes
that the
back
point?
to the whole lotion conversation we had a while
Yeah.
back.
Uh,
What would you bring to the zombie apocalypse? Well, I would bring lotion
yeah.
to moisturize my hands and
Mhm.
also do other things.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to shoot the zombie somehow, right?
There's a lot of me time in the zombie
A lot of me
apocalypse.
time. A lot of me time. Anyway, to get away from this conversation, I pulled up an article that I found on IGN that I found was kind of interesting. Did you know that there was supposed to be a Superman movie starring Nicolas Cage?
No, I did not hear this.
Oh my God. So the article title is Metalopolis director to make documentary on Lost Burton Superman video or Lost Burton Superman movie. What do you're at all, aren't you? Because you're like Nicolas Cage is Superman. What the f- is that?
Yeah, is this like super like the movie was planned for like 15 years ago?
No, this is actually taking place now. It was supposed. I guess it was a thing that. Oh, okay. So the director producer of Metalopolis, Grimm's Fairy Tales, and the ABCs of Death. I guess he made all those. John Schnepp. It's Schnepp. I believe it's John Schnepp. Or Schnepp. Has launched a Kickstarter campaign to finance his documentary about Tim Burton's doomed comic book movie, Superman Lives. The documentary would look at the death of what Schnepp contends would have been the most original and strangest version of Superman ever to grace the silver screen. So apparently, while there's a screenshot here of Nicolas Cage, I'll actually send it. He actually looks quite drunk. I'll send it to you here, just so you can see it, so you know what I'm talking about here. Get that picture there. But yeah, apparently he's going to make a documentary on the Tim Burton movie that was, oh God,
Oh wow.
it's horrible.
See, this looks like totally like early 90s.
I know, like look at his face. He just looks like I do not want to be here. Like I don't want to be here right now. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting.
It looks like he's wearing like he looks like an action figure. Is this an action figure? No, this is actually Nick Cage.
Oh, that's actually Nick Cage.
His costume looks like a plastic action figure.
Yeah, and his cape even looks plastic. I don't know. It's weird looking. It's just he just looks like, oh, I'm getting paid money for this, and so
Yeah.
I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it.
See, this was my question though, because Nick Cage was in his prime, I would say in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So it would make sense that they'd want him for Superman at that time. I thought it was like a more recent movie, and I was like, really? I couldn't see Nick Cage doing that at his age, being Superman.
Well, apparently this movie was doomed by Tim Burton because it was so far-fetched. I mean, I think we all know what kind of movies Tim Burton makes, and they're very dark. They're very, whimsical, and well, I would say whimsical and dark. I mean, that's most of the movies that he makes, and
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. I love Tim Burton's movies. I love most of them. I'm not gonna say I love all of them, but I was very excited when they brought Frankenweenie out because that was an original Tim Burton. I mean, he wrote that a long, long time ago. That was actually his first, one of his first, rights that he ever, came up with. So, I thought that movie was amazing. Tim Burton kind of went the way of this clay animation type thing, and I thought that was kind of interesting because he did, the Nightmare Before Christmas which was amazing, and then then he went with this the one with the bride, the dead
Corpse Bride.
yeah, Corpse Bride, and then then he Frankenweenie, which was clay animation too. But then he also does this, the live action stuff, which the Alice in Wonderland, which apparently I've heard that they're making a second one of that. But
Yes.
okay,
Well,
but
it made over $1 million at the box office. So
yeah, I mean, I thought it was glorious. I don't know, a lot of people had problems with it.
I I you're mentioning like all my favorite movies on this podcast today. I have that on Blu-ray as well.
I'm after your heart, John.
Though
Um,
I will say this: the special features on that Alice in Wonderland Blu-ray were complete ass. I don't know why, but a lot of Disney Blu-rays, and I love Disney to death, but a lot of their Blu-rays have really crap special features, man. Like Tangled. Do you ever see Tangled?
no, I haven't actually.
It's
That's
like the
one
newer
movie that
Rapunzel one.
yeah, that's the one movie that I have not seen.
I loved it. Absolutely fantastic. And that movie got rebooted like 2 or 3 times, like completely restarted. It took like 6 or 8 years in development. There's a backstory there that could make a hell of a special feature, and there's nothing. There's like a 30-minute little Q&A or history of Disney animation or something with Mandy Moore, who voiced Rapunzel, and it's totally for the kids. It's kind of, uh, you know,
Oh,
a less, I don't know, less technical sort of thing. And I
Mandy.
was like, what? I paid like $30 for that Blu-ray, man. Sorry,
Oh,
that's a tangent. That's a little pet peeve of mine because I still keep buying their Blu-rays, but most of them, at least for the kiddier stuff, I would say Alice in Wonderland, Tangled, they don't put jack shit for special features on there.
well, yeah, but I mean, it's like, the kids aren't gonna watch those, and so
That's true.
it's
No, and it's totally their demo, and they're gonna pay $30 for it anyways. And the thing is, their Blu-rays never come down in price. The Disney ones, they're always 25, $30. Even on like Amazon, they just never drop in price. It's crazy. Obviously, because people are paying it, but you know,
yeah.
kind of crappy for the film buffs like me that want to watch all they can for their favorite movies, and there's just not much to watch.
I'm sorry, I'm searching for some. Like I said in the
Oh, I
last
have a couple
podcast.
things.
Oh, do you want to? Yeah, go for it.
So I mentioned earlier there was a Marvel little tidbit I wanted to mention. Um, the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1 Avengers Assembled box set. Have you seen this?
No, tell me about it.
It's 10 disc, 6 movie set. So it has Avengers, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 1 and 2, and Thor. All the movies that are part of Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1 leading up to the Avengers. The Hulk movie, just called Hulk, is not included in this because that is not part of the cinematic universe. They disregard that. The only Hulk movie that counts is Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton, I believe, was the Hulk in that movie.
Yes, yeah, the one after the bomb one that where
Yeah.
where he was just way too big.
Yeah, even Stan Lee said that. He goes, well, he felt that about Incredible Hulk too. They shrunk him a little bit, but he still thought that Hulk was too big in the Incredible Hulk.
He was a perfect size in the Avengers.
Yeah, he was. They nailed it. Well, they just nailed Hulk in the Avengers, even more than the Incredible Hulk movie. They just nailed Hulk in the Avengers, I think.
Yeah.
Which is a shame that he's not getting a movie for Phase 2, but I don't know, maybe that's for the best. Because what's so funny is Hulk, like, as a cartoon, as a comic, works so well, but then they've just kind of struggled to have him, in a great movie of his own. I don't know why that is, but I think he was a fan favorite in the Avengers film. But even the Incredible Hulk that counts as Marvel Cinematic Universe, he just probably wasn't people's favorite, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, I could continue. Sorry, I don't-
So anyways, there's this fantastic box set. I don't know if you've seen it. If you guys are listening to this, you can go to Amazon and Google Marvel or Avengers box set or something. I'm sending the link to Cody now.
Is this only available through Amazon? Holy crap, this looks cool.
But look at the price, right? $180. Though if you were to buy all 6 movies individually, like I said, this is Marvel's owned by Disney. Their Blu-rays don't really drop in price ever. Each of these movies is still like $25, $24.99 or something.
This thing is intense.
Right? And for you guys that are listening to that, well, there is no video whatsoever. If you can't look at the thing right now, it's basically the briefcase that like Sam Jackson was carrying around. The briefcase from Avengers that held the little blue cube thing. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me right now. The little blue glowing Asgard cube.
Yes, I can't. I suck at names. I can't remember.
There's I don't want to watch the trailer because I don't want my Skype recording thing to record it. I don't know if it will, but in the trailer, it shows. Yeah, there's a trailer for the box set, guys. It shows that you can take out the cube thing, and it lights up. And apparently, I don't know if there's some sort of motion sensor in there or something, but they play it. Something about the cube reacts to you moving it and picking it up.
Wow.
Which is insane, right? And like, I desperately want this thing. It's $180 though. But like I said, all 6 movies would cost you, I believe, 150. Yeah, $150 to buy them separately. And for $30 more, you get them all together with this cool cube case thing, which I said I'm not big on collector's editions, but this has a handle, so I could very easily transport it. But look at all this crap it comes with. It comes with like little file folders with like data in them. And from what I gather, there's one Blu-ray bonus disc called Shield Avenger Literature.
I'm loving
Initiative.
the artwork. The artwork is
Yeah, well, yeah.
quite
So they all
nice.
come in these sleeves with like the silhouette of each person, and they all match.
And then like manila envelope type things too.
Yeah,
You got
that's
all
like
these...
just some bonus stuff too. But what I was most intrigued about was, besides all we've already mentioned, apparently on the bonus disc, there's all sorts of unseen special features for all 6 movies that you can only get by getting it in this set. And if you guys didn't know by now, I'm a huge movie buff, and I watch all the special features I can for movies that I love. And you know, I would drop 150 and buy all 6 Blu-rays individually, but I'm really tempted to get this box set because, you know, there's exclusives here that you can't get anywhere else. So I think this is a totally nerdy, awesome collector's edition. Apparently, it doesn't come out until April, but there's already 77 customer reviews. Tell me how that works, Amazon. That doesn't make any sense
Amazon
to me.
can do whatever they want.
Well, I know for like some stuff, they don't let you post reviews until the product's out yet. So I don't know how this works, but this looks super duper cool. And I really, really want it. It's just really expensive.
Well, you know, Amazon runs Netflix, so they own the world.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really neat. One other little news story. This is the only article I found on IGN today that interested me, but it's that Logitech is going to discontinue console gaming products and their Harmony line of remote controls. Did you read this article?
I'm reading it right now. It's funny you bring that up because I just came across it.
I'm a big fan of Logitech. I think as far as like third-party peripherals, we mentioned Razer a couple times on the podcast before. They make very expensive peripherals. The only Razer thing I own is their Death Adder mouse, and it wasn't too expensive to me. It was $50, which is like that's kind of the upper echelon of what I would pay for, or the upper limit of what I would pay for a mouse.
Yeah.
But it is very, very nice, and the tracking on it, like I know you do Photoshop stuff, Cody. Like you appreciate a high DPI mouse. Like the minute movements you're able to make with this mouse over like some cheapo mouse, you know, it's noticeable in programs like Photoshop.
Well, I'm actually using it's a Logitech. I got it at the it's a gaming mouse. So it's got all those kinds of controls where you can change the, you know, sensitivity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I got it at the Gearbox Community Day.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's got like a Borderlands skin on it and everything. But I love it, and that's sad that they're, you know, yeah, that's...
Well, that's the article specifically says the Harmony remotes, which I've never owned a Harmony. They're the super duper expensive universal remotes that Logitech makes. They're really cool, but it's like their Primo one is like $200, or actually I think their Primo one is like $300 or $500, and it's basically a tablet that controls all of your devices, which I thought was overkill, especially because I think most tablets, well, no, tablets don't have a RF sensor, right? So they can't control most devices.
Well, it depends. It depends on what kind of tablet you're talking about, because, you know, the Wii U tablet can control your TV through.
Oh yeah, well that kind of makes something like this
so...
obsolete. You're better off just spending that chunk of money on a Wii U and having more functionality than just a Logitech Harmony remote. I mean, the fact that they're discontinuing that line makes me think that they didn't sell. That's logical to assume, right?
No. Well, I would think so, just because, you know, I think a lot of things are going to, you know, Bluetooth, and a lot of things are going to like just I think a lot of people love wired things, so they love things that are wired in, to play. I know I do. So
Yeah. But yeah, so the article is specifically about the Harmony remotes and console gaming products, which I don't know if I own anything Logitech for my PlayStation or my Xbox. I can't think of anything.
I don't think I do. I use most Logic. Like I have a Logitech keyboard for my iMac, and then I have a
Yeah, they're all PC peripherals, right? They're still going to continue PC stuff
yeah. So I mean, I have a
or
Logitech.
computer
I
stuff.
think it's a yeah, it's a mechanical gaming uh keyboard, and then I have this Logitech. I can't remember the number. It has a number, but I think it's like $70, and then but it's a really nice mouse. I mean, I like it, but
Oh,
yeah,
wait, and you got it for free?
well, I mean, kind of, sorta. Like, I paid $30 for like the special stuff at the convention. So, I mean, yeah, I got it cheaper, I guess you would say.
Wait,
But
like you upgraded your pass to include special stuff or something?
yeah, there was a pass called the what was it? Ostrava Explosion pass.
Hmm.
And so like you got special things, like you got the mouse, and then you got like a backpack, and then you got like all the, or not a backpack, but like one of those like bags that you can like kind of wear as a backpack, kind of like Apple bags, like they're
Hmm.
bags that they give you when you buy stuff from them, like that kind of bag. And then you got a, like a I think a Gearbox hat, and then you got like a whole bunch of just little knickknacks here and there, but that were in the bag. But the people that paid for this you know pass got the mouse. So
Okay.
that was pretty neat. But I wanted to actually, if you're finished, I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I thought it was interesting.
Oh, okay. Um, I actually wanted to mention something that kind of saddens me. Something that happened in the last week. I think it's been going on for a while and was supposed to happen for a while, but finally came out. G4 is canceling all of their gaming related programs. I don't know if you heard about this, John, but if you've ever watched X Play, Attack of the Show, any of the any of the gaming programs that were on G4, they are nixing all of them, and basically over the next, I don't know, next couple of weeks, or I don't know if it's weeks. Let me actually look so I don't get my facts wrong here. It says that the rumor is that the network will shift to something more like an Esquire or GQ channel. So they're basically taking our wonderful gaming channel that I loved X Play and I loved Attack of the Show. I know a lot of people started on did a lot of stuff with G4. I know Bobby Blackwolf from the VOG Network, Bobby Blackwolf Show. He did a lot of stuff with G4, and it saddens me to hear that they have basically just nixed this channel. This was the gaming channel, like on a cable network. This was the gaming channel. This was what you would go to watch like gaming programming, and now they are nixing everything off of this channel, and it will eventually turn into an Esquire or GQ type channel, which I think kind of is ridiculous, and kind of just really almost makes me mad in a sense, just because that was the only channel we had for gaming. But at the same time, you think about it and you're like, well, I can get everything that I watch on there online, right? Like all the news and stuff like that, but you don't get the interactions. I know that I really enjoyed Olivia Munn. Olivia Munn is actually from Oklahoma. My wife goes to her dad for her. I believe he's an eye doctor, I think. Optometrist, is that what you call them?
Yes.
And that is Olivia Munn's dad. There's actually a cardboard stand-up in his office of Olivia Munn. It's funny. But I just loved the interactions that they had. The relationships that these people had with each other. It was just funny, and a lot of people have their opinions on Sessler, but I thought he was good sometimes, bad sometimes. You never know.
I really liked Adam Sessler, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
That was old school X Plays. Was Morgan Webb still on there?
Morgan Webb is still on there. I actually met Morgan Webb at Gearbox Community Day. She was
Oh,
there.
cool.
She was very nice. She was a very nice, respectful person. She uh, gave a kind of a speech there. She was kind of the I guess I don't know if she was the person. She was basically the person who introduced everybody. She's kind of like the VJ, I guess you would say, or DJ or whatever you would, but or host or whatever.
Like the MC or something?
Yeah, MC that. There you go. That sounded a little too gangster for me. That's why I didn't say it.
Master of ceremonies.
Yeah. Well, no, MC. It was, MC. But anyway, no. Yeah, she was a really nice person. It saddens me, because like where are all these people gonna go? I know Olivia Munn's actually she left Attack of the Show a little while ago. But like where are all these people gonna go? It kind of saddens me to that sense. It's almost like takes me back to the whole THQ situation where they, laid off all those people, and that was sad. And I just really these all these things happening to the gaming world it's sad. It's sad to me because these people, work really hard to, for G4 to bring us news about video games, do all this stuff, or THQ to bring us, games and stuff like that. And it's sad to hear them go, because G4 has been around for a while, and it just saddens me. And for all the people that out there that worked for G4 who have done something for G4, good job, because you worked for a pretty good network. I thought I thought it was a good network, and it's sad to see it go. I don't know if you watched it really, John, but
So I kind of have a different history with G4. I never watched it when it was just G4. I watched a lot of, well, that's not true. So back in like the early 2000s, there was Tech TV and there was G4.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I watched a lot of Tech TV, and Attack of the Show before it was Attack of the Show was the Screensavers. And I watched the really old one with, I think it was Patrick Norton and Leo Laporte.
yes,
And it was such a niche audience, I think, for that would enjoy that kind of programming. But I ate it up. Like they talked, hard drives and motherboards and stuff like that. And I really found it interesting. And then G4, there was some sort of merger and it became like G4 Tech TV. And when that happened, they fired Leo Laporte and Patrick Norton, and Kevin Rose and Alex Albrecht became the hosts of the Screensavers. And then I think at some point they fired Alex Albrecht, and then Kevin Rose and Kevin Pereira became the hosts of what was now Attack of the Show. And I still
yeah,
enjoyed it. And I enjoyed X-Play came over. Well, I guess Tech TV came over to G4, but I started watching X-Play at that time, and there was probably a couple of other shows I watched, but it was just really hard to see like all my favorite Tech TV people get fired, so I kind of stopped watching after that. And then it was crazy when did you ever watch Screensavers when it was Alex Albrecht and Kevin Rose?
no, I watched a little bit of Tech TV, but I might have skimmed across a show here and there, but
Well, I think it was G4 Tech TV when it was the Alex Albrecht Kevin Rose Screensavers.
Growing up, I really didn't have. Well, not I don't want to say growing up, but when I was younger, when G4 was new, I guess you would say, it wasn't in. I guess what I'm trying to say, it wasn't exclusive as it was now. Like you had to kind of pay for it with certain packages.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so I don't think it was like that early on. And so, I didn't have cable growing up, and so I would watch those shows like over my, other, family members' houses or over my friends' houses or stuff like that. So, I mean, I loved the channel, but I didn't have it at my house, so I didn't watch it religiously. But I getting older, where I, started paying for all my, own stuff. I had that channel and I loved watching it. But no, I have not seen Screensavers unless I saw it, skimming across, shows and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Because the original, they were older guys, and I can understand if they're merging with G4, they kind of want to change their demo. But Patrick Norton and Leo Laporte, I believe, runs a network called Twit now. It stands for This Week in Tech, and they have a YouTube presence. And I think they are. I don't know where else you can watch their stuff. I don't know if Twit is like its own network outside of YouTube. Well, it is. I don't watch it there. I subscribe to all their channels on YouTube. So honestly, what he's doing now, I believe it's completely independent. It's just run by him and whatever partners he has. It's friggin' awesome, and it's the old school tech TV vibe, and all of the old people that were on the Screensavers with him, as well as people that were still on the Screensavers and Attack of the Show. A lot of those people work for him now, doing the Twit stuff, and they have their own weekly shows, and it's really amazing. He's basically resurrected tech TV independently, and if you're into, they have all sorts of different shows. I don't know if they do anything gaming related, but I know you're into tech, like I'm into tech. Whether that's just simple consumer, portable consumer devices, or full on computer hardware stuff like that. There's all sorts of programming that they do weekly. It's insane how many episodes they have of their shows.
That's good to hear that, though, he went and did something else, because that's the story of, I guess that's life, though. I mean, you're not going to be at a place your whole life, so you got to figure out what to do next. And he took it and ran with it, and that's pretty good. I like to hear that. But yes, to everybody who has worked for a company or a gaming company, tech company, anything, channel, anything, just know that you did something good, and know that you lived your life there. You lived a little bit of your life there, and you go on and you do something bigger, and that's
well, I'm part of that group as well, so which maybe we'll get into in a future podcast.
Maybe,
but not today.
Maybe
that's its whole other thing.
But I think that's all for this podcast. I think we're going to wrap it up, John. How do you feel about that?
Sounds good to me.
Next week, of course, we will have Hayden back. Hopefully, if he doesn't have anything, real bad going on, or anything that he has to take care of before the podcast. But hopefully we'll have him on. And
can I just say why he wasn't here? Is that okay?
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
I'll do
I
it.
mean, that's fine. Yeah.
So once a month, Hayden turns into a werewolf, and it just so happened that this was the night, and it's usually a Sunday, just the way it works out. But last year was like a leap year, so it messed everything up. So Hayden is actually a werewolf tonight, and he couldn't be here. I know he's gonna listen to this later.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to. But he's not like a hardcore werewolf. He's like a Twilight werewolf. So like, he turns into like a hamster werewolf. It's like he's a
werepuppy.
He's a werepuppy.
He's quite harmless, but he can't do a podcast.
Yeah, and
his bites are more like nibbles.
Oh, ouch. At the end of the podcast, we're just like grilling Hayden.
Puppy bites don't hurt. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, they don't. They're just harmless. Nibbles. They're just nibbles.
Yeah, they're nibbles.
For a minute there, I thought you said nipples. It was weird.
Yes. He nibbles your nipples.
He nibbles your nipples.
Like a tongue twister. Literally, because he nibbles your nipples.
But yes, next week, I just got a Skype message from Dark Sakura from Orange Lounge Radio. She will be on next week. Like I mentioned earlier, we kind of ran into a little debacle there, but she will be on next week, so get excited about that, everyone. And
woo!
Yeah. But we will hopefully maybe have Nick's on if he's not asleep. Obviously he lives in it's Sweden, right?
Sweden, yeah.
Why can I never remember that? I don't know.
I always want to say Switzerland.
Yeah, me too. It's both of those. I don't know. It's weird. But yes, he lives in Sweden, so his time is a little, it's pretty large.
Yeah, it's like 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah,
ahead.
it's yeah. So
he's in the future.
Yeah, he's in the future. So hopefully he has a DeLorean parked in his driveway. I'm just saying.
Has he even seen Back to the Future?
I don't know. But anyway, until the next podcast, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at the DFM Podcast. Or
yes, please tweet us.
Yes,
we'll tweet back.
Tweet us some tweets. We love tweets, you twats. That's what British people say, but we're not British, so it just sounds offensive. And then also send us some emails. Send us your mails. The DFM Podcast at gmail.com. And then also leave some comments on our YouTube page, youtube.com/the DFM podcast. And then also we have a couple of YouTube pages. Of course, John has two because he's an overachiever. He's got youtube.com/JohnVincible, where you can go there and watch some crazy videos about.
You can see my face if you haven't seen a video with my face yet.
Yeah, if you don't know what he looks like.
You can guess what race I am.
And then also he usually wears a hat, so you never see his hair. But sometimes he, every once in a while, if he feels
only when my hair is huge, apparently, do I do videos with it.
If he feels a little bit of randiness, he'll
Randy.
Randy. If he feels randy, he'll show off his hair. And then also he has a gaming channel which he hasn't posted anything on for a while. But you can subscribe to it and hope one day he'll post a video on it.
For real, maybe we should stop advertising that one.
That's youtube.com/JohnVincible Gaming. And then also I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/CTaylor1785. I've been trying to change the thing to a vanity URL, but YouTube's won't do it for me. But anyway, I am Codeman from Codeman Games. So if you pull that up, you'll know what it is. But I'm starting a new series. There's a mob arena in in the VOG network Minecraft server, and there are tons and tons of loadouts for the to play in the mob arena. So I'm doing a series debuting each loadout. So check that out. Then also I would like to pimp Hayden's channel, although he has more subs than us, so I kind of don't want to, but I'm going to do it anyway. YouTube.com/The Killer Polar Bear. He does all kinds of different commentaries. He started out doing Call of Duty commentaries, and now he's doing a Dishonored walkthrough right now, and then he also posts some other stuff. So I believe he posted some Halo the other day. So check all those out, and then of course I am Codeman with John from John Vincible. And John, you wanna do us out here?
Yeah, I'll do us out.
Do us out, John.
So guys, it looks like the servers are back up and running again, but we will see you next time. They're down for maintenance.